Welcome to Signs from the Other Side with Fern Ronay. I'm your host, Fern Ronay, and this is the place to share stories of signs and messages received from the other side. Real quick before we get started, if you enjoy reading about signs and if you enjoy fiction like Bridget Jones and Sex and the City, you might enjoy my books, Better in the Morning and Better Believe It. And if you like this podcast, please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe in Apple Podcasts and tell a friend too. Thank you so much for listening, and on to the show. Can numbers be a sign from the other side? Absolutely. I'm Fern Ronay. I'm the host of the Signs from the Other Side podcast. I'm not a medium, but I talk to my loved ones on the other side all the time, and they talk back, and numbers can absolutely be a sign from the other side. I just posted a clip with Shirley Schefter, and she lost a friend on 9/11, and he was coming through, and then he gave her the ultimate confirmation. So be sure to watch to the end for that.
I went to every Cantor Fitzgerald Memorial Service. We went to the 9/11 building before it opened with the family members. And one day I was driving on the parkway with my top down, and it was like some odor passed, and I looked around and there was no other car on the road. By the time I identified the smell, it was gone, and it was cigar smoke. And I couldn't understand because there was nothing around me. So I turned on the radio, and it turned out it was my favorite dance song with Billy. And Billy waddled, and I always made fun of him. And I have a heart crystal hanging from my mirror, and this crystal was going completely 360 side to side, the way Billy used to rotate. And I was really
modeling.
freaked out. And I'm going, I think I'm getting a Billy experience. So I went into motor vehicle, and I said to the woman, where do I return these plates? And she said, you have to wait for your number to be called. And she handed me 9/11.
I'm often asked if they can come through via smells, and they absolutely can, and this is one of my favorite stories.
Usually when I have smelled him enough to where it zooms me right back to my childhood while I'm shopping for produce. And I wonder if it's because when you're grocery shopping, like I try not to do anything else because I'm like very focused on what's going on there. And it's almost like my mind has slowed down a bit and everything's like very clear. So
that's interesting. It's like a form of meditation.
Yeah, and the same thing like when you're cooking, and it's happened a couple of times like when I've been cooking and just focusing on the food. But then for my grandma's side, hers was her perfume, Estee Lauder uses, which is like traditionally an older, wiser woman's fragrance, I think. So for her it was used to, but it was also, there was something else. If you don't believe, you could just be like, well, somebody else was wearing youth to that day, obviously. But what happens is then, my memory is triggered by those smells, and then I just have this overwhelming sense of like just a hug, like a hey,
yeah,
we're here.
Congratulations to my friend Jennifer Cannon, who wrote this article in Town and Country. I am so excited for you. I am so excited to hold it in my hand. Yes, I get Town and Country. I literally subscribe. It's my favorite magazine. It gets mailed to my house. And I was so excited to see this. I knew about it beforehand, but to see it in print and to read this incredible story is such a thrill, and congratulations. And what a story it is. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say scandal, family secrets, jewelry, the Beverly Hillbillies house. It's amazing. And then I got to listen to you on Kate Casey, who I love. I also subscribe there, and you did amazing. What a story. And you're a great storyteller. And I know that because you were on my podcast and you told this story, and anyone who listens to Kate's episode knows about your beloved grandmother, and you told this story that I'm going to share, which I love so much because my own grandmother experienced something similar. I call it a woosh, and it is a real thing, and it was a beautiful story, and you are a wonderful storyteller, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations.
I was in a deep nap, like an afternoon nap, the like 7.5 months pregnant lady nap. And clear as day in my dream, the phone rang, and I picked up the phone and said hello, and it was Graham's voice saying, hello, hey, Jen, like just like she always would have talked to me so clear. And just as I was saying back to her, Graham, like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to talk. Just as I'm trying to talk back to her, this almost like a little cyclone of air, like just whooshed down into my left ear that was facing up and sent this whole tingle through my whole body and woke me up like all at the same time. And I've never, ever experienced anything like that or since. I remember my grandmother telling me as a young girl, you shouldn't have any more kids. You're like your mom. You shouldn't have any more children.
It's almost like she was saying, forget what I told you. You can do this.
Yeah, I really believe that.
I'm often asked if they can come through flickering lights and basically through electricity, and they absolutely can, and this is one of my favorite stories.
My grandmother, the day she died, I had these cow lights on my Christmas tree, and I got the phone call that she had died, and as soon as I got off the phone, my cow lights died on the Christmas tree. They were brand new that year. They stopped working. I went back to Pennsylvania for the funeral. I'm going upstairs to the bedroom, and something fell off the mantle on the fireplace. I thought, I'm just going to leave it, and then something said, no, go pick it up and see what it is, and she had printed out all of these healing psalms from the Bible and stapled them together. And then in the corner, in her handwriting, it said, Dear Whitney, I thought you might find these helpful. I love you, Graham. I left Pennsylvania, went back home. I was at our place, and all of the doors and windows were shut. I mean, it was December, and even though it was California, it still got cool at night. And I felt this incredible cold wind flow through my living room. And it went right past me, and I looked at the Christmas tree, and all of my little cow lights came back on.
Thank you so much for listening to Signs from the Other Side. You can find me, Fern Ronay, on all social media at Fern Ronay, Ronay. I love hearing from you, and I love hearing your stories of signs. And if you would like to hear more episodes of this show, please be sure to subscribe in Apple Podcasts. Thank you again, and sweet dreams.